Good morning, guys. Captain Dylan Hubbard here at Hubbard's Marina. The 39-hour just got back in. Captain Brian and the boys got a meat mountain back here from this 39-hour trip. A stellar red snapper catch, some big triggerfish, gag grouper, red grouper. A little bit tough on the mangrove snapper, but the plentiful red snapper made up for it. Got big, huge vermilions, nice lanes, some almaco, some strawberries. Looks like you guys did extremely well, huh, Will?
Yeah, we stroked. Again, nighttime was picky, but we put a decent catch together at night. There was a couple guys with 15 or 17 mangroves at night, and a lot of bar jacks mixed in there with them, but the day bite was on the whole day. We hit red snappers a couple times, and then we hit 3 or 4 spots with big vermilions and red snappers on them. Picked at the gags throughout the day, and added up to a really nice catch.
It's so funny, man. The last trip, the night bite was slow, or the night bite was good and the day bite was slow. This trip, the opposite held true, and ended up putting together a nice catch of these red snapper. And last trip, lots of big mangroves and the red snapper bite was slow. This trip, the opposite was true again.
I think, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure we were fishing about 50 miles away from where we were fishing the last trip.
Yeah, and that's amazing how much it can change in just a little bit of moving around, a little bit of hunting and pecking. It looks like you got some big red snapper, huh?
Yeah, did well on the big red snapper. Got a 25-pound gag, maybe bigger in there.
What was the hot bait?
I saw a big gag come in on a bonita strip, and from what I heard around the boat, a couple of guys brought big half-day baits, and they couldn't get a bite on them.
Oh, wow. The big live baits didn't work so well.
Yeah, they couldn't get a bite on a grunt out there this trip.
Wow, so the big dead bait still remains king, even if you got the big select bait with you.
Yes, sir.
That's crazy. How about the big red snapper? Do you know what they came in on?
The big red snapper will surprise you a lot. A lot of times he comes in on a thread fin.
On a thread fin.
A single thread fin.
And I heard the 18-pound gag was caught on a squid strip.
So Eric's fighting a shark on the stern. It's busy back here, and right in the middle of this shark, here comes a big grouper floated up, and I gaffed it and brought it in, and it had a hook in it. It was broken off, and I was like, who's losing a hook? Who's missing a hook? And Chaz had squid on there, so he didn't think it was his gag.
Oh, wow.
He was like, I didn't have a gag on that piece of squid, and I was like, well, there's the hook. He was like, no, well, that's my hook.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so he got a big one on some squid.
Yeah, you never know what they'll bite. Elephants do eat peanuts. I see some big red grouper. Did you guys do well on those red grouper?
We got some red. Yes, we did well on the red grouper. Probably 20 plus red grouper in there, if I had to say.
Wow, that is a stellar catch for sure, man.
Heads and tails, like it's not a 75 giant red snapper, but it's tons of fish in there.
Yeah.
The numbers are probably the most numbers we had this season.
A lot of quantity.
Yeah, just steady fish catching the whole time.
Yeah, overall size of the red snapper was a little bit low, but you got some big ones?
Yeah, and really that's what happens this time of year. You won't get the huge load of big ones like we do at the start of the season, but the other fish made up for it on this one.
Yeah, and I heard there was some really big vermilions.
Yeah, we've got, I think, a 5-pound vermilion in there somewhere.
Wow. What about pelagics? You guys get any pelagics?
Pelagics. No go on the pelagics this trip. No, we did. We got a kingfish on the trawler, and nothing crazy though.
Nothing crazy, just normal.
Yeah, normal pelagic fishing.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it, Will. I'll let you get to it. Looks like you guys got a lot of fish cutting to do.
Yeah, we got some work ahead of us.
Another great catch. The 39-hour did real well. Wow. I saw the lobster, yeah. It's crazy. Massive pile. Crazy catch of fish. Fish mountain, if you will. Captain Brian put these guys on the meat for sure. Looking forward to tonight's live stream show. Remember, 8:30 p.m. tonight, we're going to be live talking all about nearshore and offshore fishing and doing some inshore talk too. Remember, you get an opportunity to win over $800 in free trips if you join us for that live stream show. So hopefully you can join us. Also keep in mind, guys, remember August 16th, we've got our Real Animals fishing conversation at Bartow Ford. August 21st, 2 p.m., we've got our Bass Pro fishing conversation over there at Bass Pro Shops. And then September 13th, we're going to be doing the Old Salts fishing conversation right here in Johns Pass at Krabby's on the Pass. We hope to see you. Don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. We hope to see you out here on the water. As far as fishing goes, you can see from that pile and from what Will was talking about, we're doing really well offshore. Still some nice red snapper coming over. Got a boat limit of red snapper on this trip. Definitely still picking plenty of those red snapper. Overall size has dropped a little bit, but we're still seeing a handful of big ones. We're still catching them up, and we still got until end of day August 16th for those red snapper. After that, we have an opportunity to really focus in on those mangroves and do well on those. We've got gag grouper, red grouper, vermilions, almacos, pelagics, plenty more to target offshore, even once red snapper season ends. 12-hour extremes doing really well out there. They're catching some really nice reds, gags, red snapper, doing well. A couple nice scamp too. Also, near shore 10-hour trips been doing pretty darn good on a plentiful and bountiful lane snapper. A few nice red grouper, mangroves, and plenty of the heads and tails to fill out the box. Half-day trips, we're seeing a hogfish here and there, but it's mostly those gray snapper or white grunts. Great time to get out here on the water. Weather-wise, it's a little bumpy today, especially offshore. We've got an increased easterly wind flow, so offshore is going to be a little bumpy today. Near shore is only around 2 to 3 foot, so not terrible. Then Monday, it's going to calm down a little bit for us. Tuesday is going to be nice. And then Wednesday, it's going to pick up. It's going to be a little bumpy Wednesday. Not terrible, not rough, but going to be a little bumpy, probably a little rough for our 12-hour extreme trip, but everything else shouldn't have a problem there Wednesday. Then we're hoping it should calm down there Thursday on the backside of that little blow. But time will tell. Right now, the next few days, Tuesday looks like the nicest day to get out there on the water. Don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. We do have a full moon coming up this week, so ahead of the full moon, moving barometer, Tuesday should be the day that it pops off. So if you can get out there Tuesday, should be the best day near shore and offshore to get them. Tight lines, y'all. We'll see you tonight at 8:30 p.m. for that live stream show.